welcome to the World Karate Federation's The Decade's Best, Series 2, Chapter 7. And once more revisiting the 2012 World Championships in Paris and the Paris Bercy Stadium. Today's programme is featuring the male minus 84 kilogram category between Japan's Ryutaro Araga and France's Kenji Grillon. To help share that experience and to get into some of the action, I would like to welcome two former world champions, Davide Benetello from Italy, chairman of the Athletes Commission for the World Karate Federation and multiple world champion, both team and individual, Gilles Cherdieu of France. Welcome, chaps. How are you? Great to see you again.
Great to see you. Hi, Davide. Hi, Billy.
Hi. Now, before we actually get into the bout proper, let's just have a thought or two about the match that we're looking to see. And Japan and France are two nations that have been at the center of the development of karate during the World Karate Federation's international competition over the last 50 years. And having competed many times, Davide, against some top French athletes in that period, what can you say is the reason for the phenomenal strength and fighting spirit of the French?
Billy, yes, you are right. I fought with most of the French champions, and Gilles is one of them, but I fought with Piré, I fought with Pina, I fought with Balde, so all of them are great champions. Gilles, I fought with Gilles many times, and I have to say it was always a great fighter, and I know Gilles very good, and my memory with his fight very correct and very clear with all the situations. So I thanks Officer Gilles for how he fought with me in the past. What to say about French karate school is one of the oldest European karate schools, and they are very close to the Japan tradition, but at the same time very innovative. Also, they use the imagination to change the way of karate sometimes. And they create, with the avant-garde of karate, they create a style. And copied by many countries, by many top fighters around the world. So they have the stamp, we are French karate. And that's the real situation of karate in French.
Well, thank you very much for that, Davide, and I'm sure Gilles will be flattered by those kind words, particularly around himself as a fighter. Now, we're going to get into the action, and then I can come to Gilles and ask you some questions, if I may, about that. So we're going to be looking forward now to Ryutaro Araga from Japan versus Kenji Grillon from France. And here we have a 4-minute bout. We have Ryutaro Araga in the red colours and Kenji Grillon wearing the blue. Gilles, can I come to you now? France is a major force in world sport, and with over 5,000 karate clubs, is one of the most successful nations in the history of WKF karate competition. So how popular would you say, Gilles, the karate is in France in comparison to the other sports?
Thanks, Billy. Hello, Davide. Just to say that, as you say, karate in France is very popular. You know, as usual, we have a sport like football, basket, and tennis, who are the best sport and with the most people we practicing in France. But actually, in France, we are the 13th federation, and more than 200,000 people were practicing. And we are so proud that we are before a lot of federation, Olympic federation, and everybody in France knows karate. A lot of people practicing, above all children, and we have a school of French karate who is very popular.
So there's development at grassroots level right through to international athletes. And karate in France has always been a very, very popular sport. In this match we have, Davide, Japan versus France, Asia versus Europe. And there are differences, obviously, in Kumite between the East and the West. And you've competed and faced some top-class fighters from all over the world in your time on the tatami. And what would you say are the key differences, Davide, in those regions throughout the world, particularly from Kumite? The kind of things that you may have observed.
Look, personally, because I'm European, I fought most of the time with European style. But when I face Japanese athletes, I found their way to doing karate very essential, and with always perfect choice of time. Their timing was always perfect. They have most of the time the foot on the floor, and they can move very fast everywhere in tatami, and be very precise in the technique. So they are very essential, and with very penetrating technique sometimes. So it's very complicated. You cannot make any mistake with Japanese fighting with top level athletes.
Well, we are seeing the score now. We have Ryutaro Araga was leading 2-1. And it's fair to say that Kenji Grillon was trailing. He did open the score with that Yuko, but he did find himself trailing. He's balanced it up now 2-2. And as the match is developing, can I ask, both of you, your opinions here of how Ryutaro Araga was starting to look very, very strong, but we're now seeing Kenji Grillon starting to come back in. And what is going on in his mind, do you think, as a fighter, and how is he being able to turn the tables on Araga in order to produce the great performance that we know he went on to do so?
May I begin? I think that as Davide said, that when you are against a Japanese, you have to be stronger. You have to be really more than 100% of your level. I mean that Kenji was really concentrated on, as usual, in front of Japanese, you have to be fast, quick, strong, and really the best of yourself. And essentially, in your mind, you have to be able to just check and project the best level of your karate and your personality. In this fight, I think that I talked to Kenji after his fight. He said that he didn't remember what happened. He only knew that his body was just acting as his mind wanted to do. So it was the best at this moment.
And Davide, observations to add to that?
Yes, he's right. And but the real tactic also of Grillon was to be very essential, almost like Japanese, very essential and don't make mistake. And he didn't take the risk too many times to cross the technique of the Japanese. Otherwise, you put your destiny in the hand of the referees. And this is a big mistake that you could do with Japanese, that they are very short in the technique. So he never tried to cross the technique of the Japanese. That was the best decision, in my opinion.
Well, we just saw that fantastic Joran Gyakuzuki that led to a point for Grillon, but there was a Joran Mawashi that drew boos from the crowd because the front leg Joran Mawashi from Araga was so close to scoring, wasn't it?
And against Japanese, one of the most essential things is don't never give the distance. If they are just approaching yourself and act, and they come to attack you, you are in danger. I mean that you have to be just control the distance and don't let them attack first. what
Davide,
Kenji is doing.
Yeah, we just saw Davide, didn't we, where there was almost an argument there for passivity from Kenji Grillon. He was moving back to try and get out of there. He did end up with a Hansoku Chui. Very close, wasn't it, in those closing stages?
Yes, Billy, we know almost all the fights end with the Hansoku Chui for some athletes because the last second are the most important in fighting. So all the most expert athletes risk the Hansoku Chui at the last second because it's a tactic, and we have to accept this because it's a fight sport and it's also a very big tactic.
It was a brilliant performance, as you can see here, with Grillon taking that world title and Oliver Borri, the coach, walking off so pleased, so proud of his fighter. Yes. We've experienced this 4-minute bout. It's different in times now, but Gilles, can I ask you now really a question about what happens after competition, because since you retired from competition, you've become a key figure, like Oliver Borri, in the French National Federation. So can you elaborate a little on the role that you play on behalf of karate in France?
You know, Billy, now I was just leading French national team, but now we are thinking about the French karate development. And for this reason, I'm just number 2 of the federation according to the tactic. And I am responsible now of the relationship between the territories and the federation, the national and the territories. And we have to be just sure that the national politic federation is well applied, and I have to be sure that everything is done, understand, and well applied. And of sure that I think this next month we'll have change at the head of the technical federation, and maybe we'll talk about it after.
Great. Well, now the road to the Olympics will be entering the final stages over the next few months, but there's still much work to be done before karate makes its debut in Tokyo in Japan. Now, Davide, what can you tell viewers about the work that you undertake on behalf of the WKF on the various planning committees in the build-up to the Olympics, please?
Look, Billy, the Olympics are waiting for us. The Olympics are waiting for karate in Tokyo. And the recent visit of the IOC President Thomas Bach in Japan that met the Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga, that is a karateka. The Prime Minister of Japan is a karateka, and confirm that Tokyo 2020 +1 will be for sure the Olympic Games in Tokyo. So we have only to wait, and we are almost ready. We miss only one Premier League as qualification, and all the athletes around the world have the last opportunity to get points for the Olympic standing. And after, we will close definitely the Olympic standing. And more, there is the big event, the qualification tournament in Bercy, where in Paris, where look at the public in Bercy in 2012. The qualification tournament will be amazing. We know this because French public is very warm as support for the athletes. What is the most particular things in the qualification event? That's in one competition, we will give 3 tickets for Tokyo 2020. So one competition, 3 places per category for Tokyo 2020. This is amazing. It's almost an Olympic Games. So I invite all the people to come in the French Colosseum that we call the Coubertin. That is a wonderful venue because the public is very close to tatami. You can feel the public and the fighting spirit of the public. I know because I met many times French people inside the Coubertin, and I really feel something different. And it is one of the most important experience of karateka is to fight in the Kuberten, and for the Olympics will be to fight in Nippon Budokan in Japan, in Tokyo. So Tokyo are waiting for us.
Absolutely, it is. And talking about Olympic standings, can I just ask, at the moment, Gilles, Stephen da Costa is the only French athlete to have qualified so far in the Olympic standings, but there's still plenty of competition available. As Davide said, there's still the Premier League, there is still the Olympic qualification tournament, and there are Olympic places up for grabs. So Gilles, what are your expectations for the next period in the qualifying process for the other French athletes that are hoping to become Olympians?
Well, Billy, my hope is French be represented by one athlete in every category. Of course, maybe it will be difficult in the kata, but in Kumite we'll try to do our best to qualify one athlete, and we have the possibility to do it. For sure, people other nation will try to get their qualification, but maybe we have the opportunity that this Olympic tournament will be in Paris, and maybe, as Davide said, with the public, we'll manage to have the best result for us to be present in Tokyo. We'll try to. I hope that Stephen da Costa will have a lot of competitors, friend, will be with him in this tournament in Tokyo.
Well, best wishes to all the French athletes who have tried to prepare themselves, and thank you so much, Gilles Cherdieu, for sharing all of those wonderful thoughts, and good luck to you as well. Thank you also, Davide, and continue to do all of that fabulous work on behalf of the World Karate Federation. Last but not least, thank you everybody for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you.